FactsVerse presents. Heartbreaking photo from China shows a scene they don't want the rest of the world to see. Pollution is a real problem on our planet. Whether it's pollution from people dumping garbage where it should be dumped and where it shouldn't be, or pollution in the air from towering smokestacks, emissions from cars, pollution is destroying our planet. Due to its size and the population, China has the worst pollution problem in the world. Here are some pictures that make it impossible to deny that pollution is a significant concern on Earth. Each heartbreaking photo from China shows a scene they don't want the rest of the world to see. Before we get into our video, help us spread the word about FactsVerse by clicking that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. In China, if you want to take a beautiful photo of the skyline, you have to use a fake photo. The real skyline is so smoggy you can barely see the landscape. Since you can't really see the sights, what's the purpose of traveling to China? The backdrop looks real, and the real skyline is depressing. It's photos like these that should bring attention to the pollution problems in China. This photo looks like something out of a disaster movie where something just exploded or there's a serious outbreak of disease. This is actually everyday life in China. There are days in China where pollution and smog is so severe that commuters can't see 2 feet in front of them. Also, the air is of course not safe to breathe like this, so people wear safety masks while walking the streets. The photo alone here is proof that something needs to be done. Lately in China, the days where citizens need to wear masks outnumber the days where they don't need to. Makes you wonder if the Chinese government is doing anything, or if they plan to do anything to help stop the pollution. It's not uncommon for chemical waste to be poured into China's rivers. Judging by this picture, it's clear the chemicals poured into the rivers is causing irreparable damage. The woman in this photo is filling up a bottle of water to prove to others how serious the problem has become. Looks like she's standing in front of a river of blood, not a river of what's supposed to be drinkable water. Hopefully she's taking that water sample to somebody who can do something to stop the chemicals from being dumped into the river. If somebody doesn't do something soon, these conditions will only worsen. The water pollution is not just causing problems with the water, it's also causing problems with the wildlife in that water, like the fish. Here's a photo of a man trying to sift through thousands of poisoned fish. The chemicals and the pollution are so severe, fish are dying. These thousands of fish that died due to pollution could have fed thousands of people. The pollution in China's waters killing off various types of marine life, and in time there'll be no fish left in China that would be safe to eat. If somebody doesn't do something soon, the people who rely on fish to keep from going hungry won't have anything to eat at all. It isn't just pollution caused by illegal dumping and the carelessness of people that's causing China's waters to become so polluted. It's also massive oil spills. Sadly, oil spills in China aren't that uncommon. The man in this photo is working to clean up after one oil spill. His suit is covered in oil, so you can only imagine what the marine life must be going through. Here's a photo of a different oil spill that occurred off the coast. It's a team working to clean it up, but judging by the oil in the area, they have their work cut out for them. Looking at this photo of the Beijing skyline, you'd think the weather's terrible and the sky is filled with clouds. But the weather wasn't bad that day. What you're seeing is actually smog caused by pollution. The smog is so thick it looks like a cloudy day. In this photo, the smog is so severe it's challenging to see 2 feet in front of your face. Kids all over the world love to go swimming on a hot day. In many parts of the world, kids can find clean, safe bodies of water to swim in. Here is a sad photo. The water's polluted with trash, including old playing cards, discarded food, and other nasty items. The pollution in the water didn't stop this young boy, though, from getting into the water to go for a swim. It's devastating what the children of China are having to deal with. Children should have the ability to swim in clean water. Swimming in polluted water like this is dangerous, and it takes all the fun out of being a kid. There was a flood in this city after a major storm, and after the water receded, the pollution from the ocean was left behind. The citizens are so used to the streets being polluted with trash, nobody even tried to clean this up. Instead, they just made their way through the streets trying to avoid the garbage as best as possible. The factory in the background of this photo sends off massive plumes of smoke all day long. The folks riding their bikes nearby, they don't seem fazed by the pollution in the air. It's so severe, though, that they can barely see where they're going, despite the fact that this photo was taken in the middle of the day. When you look at this photo, it seems as though it's a murky pond of mud. This is actually a freshwater lake that is so polluted it can't sustain life. This fish couldn't survive in the water and it died. The green color is enough to make anybody's stomach turn. It doesn't seem right to call this a freshwater lake, does it? There's just nothing fresh about it. Unfortunately, this isn't the only lake that looks like this in China. There are lakes all over the country with this type of pollution. If you're able to find a natural body of water that's not polluted, it would be surprising. This is a photo of sewage and chemical waste that has turned a once beautiful area into an unsightly mess. The bright pink color of the sewage is shocking, and the waste piling up around it is devastating. This is happening to beautiful places all over China. The woman in the photo doesn't seem too concerned about the chemicals and pollution around her. The oceans of Earth belong to all of us, so this photo should make every person on the planet angry. You can see a pipe intentionally pouring human waste and whatever else made its way into the sewers. This type of thing should be illegal all over the world. China appears to be doing zero about the pollution in the ocean, and they're not trying too hard to hide it either. It's one of the most dangerous forms of pollution because sewage and waste is being dumped into the ocean daily. If this isn't stopped, there'll come a time that every ocean on the planet is polluted to the point where no marine life can survive. The Great Wall of China is one of the most fascinating wonders of the world. Unfortunately, this does not exempt the wall from being overcome with pollution. The massive trove of discarded plastic bottles here is located at a forgotten corner of the Great Wall. And it's not uncommon. It's genuinely heartbreaking. If there's one part of China that should be protected from pollution, you would think it'd be one of the wonders of the world, the Great Wall of China. Over time, though, such serious pollution, it could cause the rock here that makes up the walls to decay. At first sight, this photo looks like an explosion scene in a movie. This is actually a picture of pollution in China. The pollution is worse in some areas than others, and the area in this photo has a severe pollution problem. The building in the background is a plant where old cars are burned down. The pollution released from the plant is causing severe damage to the environment. Sadly, this is not a one-of-a-kind situation in China. If somebody doesn't do something about these types of plants soon, it will never be safe to leave the house without a mask. In many parts of the world, canals are essential in transporting goods around the city. Canals are also fun ways for people to get around. This is a significant tourist attraction. But in China, there are canals, and they're not capable of carrying goods, tourists, or anything because they are so polluted. The water in the canal looks like sludge, and it's full of trash and debris. The pollution is so severe it's eating away at the buildings by the water's edge. The people looking at the water, they should be looking at beautiful water, complete with gondolas. Instead, they're all standing there in shock. The pollution is so severe in China that acres and acres of the ground are covered with trash and debris. Some people will go to these areas to try and clean up the trash the way this guy is. Most people discover shortly after the job, though, is just too much for one person. Other people carry sticks like this man, but they use their sticks to create a path in the trash to walk through. These are the people who don't bother to try and clean up the trash because they know the problem is much too severe for one person. There is trash as far as the eye can see. It's proof of how devastating the pollution in China really is. Tai Chi has been practiced in China for thousands of years, as well as in many other parts of the world. These three students gather to practice Tai Chi in the early morning hours before class. While practicing this form of martial arts will keep you healthy, doing it out in this kind of pollution isn't. Breathing in is essential in this form of martial arts, and judging by this photo, there is so much smog, breathing can't be healthy. The manufacturing demand in China is tremendous, and it's responsible for the high levels of pollution. For a while, it was just the big cities that were affected by the pollution, but today, even the countryside is being destroyed by it. Between the effects of air pollution and the deforestation that's been taking place to build manufacturing plants, no part of China is safe anymore. Most brides want their wedding photos to come out perfect. The wedding photos will allow the happy couple to remember their special day forever. The place where the photos are taken, that's just as important as how the couple looks in the picture. This is a photo of a Chinese bride on her wedding day. Unfortunately, she did not get a perfect photo suitable for framing thanks to the pollution. The air conditions on the day of her wedding were so bad she had to wear a mask to breathe safely. This certainly will not provide some fond memories of her wedding day that the bride will want to hold on to forever. Subscribe for more.